Okay. Um, Today we're gonna be reacting on videos from True Story.
Let me tell you what happened on this trip. So basically, I would have canceled going on this trip if it were up to me. But my boss insisted that I go with Helena, as she knew the customers and had a good sense of business to take care of those matters.
Why does he look so muscular? And you know how it's called? Now he has like, you know? Okay, I'll continue. And why is she making eye contact with her customers, and why is he blushing? Oh my god.
It was obvious to me that he was heavily manipulated. If only he knew that Helena's intentions were entirely something else. Well,
he goes like, only if he knew Helena's intentions were something else. Oh.
who am I kidding? Even I didn't know it then. The elevator incident was just a trailer.
Of course you didn't know. It's probably made up.
Helena was out to show me the full movie. So when we boarded the flight, I received the first shock of the trip. Helena had invited 2 of her girlfriends to come along with us.
He stares. It's like, don't make it like you were staring at her friend just normally, you weirdo.
What is this, Helena? I asked her. We were going on a business trip, not a vacation. She just laughed it off. We will have enough free time at our hands. We might as well enjoy it like a vacation. I shook my head incredulously. Was she for real? How far would she go to get what she wanted? I was pretty sure that she had invited her girlfriends to irk me, to make a show of me. I was already on the edge after the whole elevator thing, as it is, and now this. If you think things couldn't get any worse than that, then you are wrong.
Of course.
Let me tell you what happened
Of course
after we
are
arrived
wrong.
at our
It always
destination.
happens in those stories.
Helena and her girlfriends were staying in the hotel room that was beside mine, and I hated this. They used to come and go from my room as they wished. They had no respect for my privacy. And even after I told them off a few times, they couldn't take a hint. The first day passed somehow. The next day, however, Helena burst into my room, early in the morning. Do you at least have the decency to knock? I glared at her. She ignored me and told me to get ready soon. Our meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. I frowned. Why are you in such a hurry? Because we are going to the beach, she said excitedly. Our schedule is free today. I shook my head. Go ahead and enjoy. I want to rest. Helena's face contorted into a scowl. Don't ruin my plans, Harry. I already told the girls that I will bring you along. What is that? Some kind of bet? I retorted. What do you mean you told them? Come on, they like you, and what?
Yeah, of course.
Are you still drowning in
true.
Google Analytics reports? Depending on developers to get new data? Meet or read me.
No. Don't.
I want to get to know you more, she pleaded. Don't ruin everyone's mood. She didn't even give me time to reply before she walked out saying that she would be waiting. Now, I didn't want to go at all, but I also knew for a fact that Helena would drag me to the beach if she had to.
Isn't that how you drag a body when you killed it? Like, he's not dead, you know?
She was insane. I mean, how could I forget that she had fired Chloe just because she was jealous, and also tried to make a move on me? The crazy thing was that she was married, yet she acted like a teenager who had a crush on someone. I couldn't really understand her. I had no other option but to go with her. My assumptions were right. I was some kind of prize that she was showing off to her friends. The time spent at the...
No, you're lying. They hated you. But you insisted of coming. You know? That's what it is.
beach was really memorable, and not in a good way. I was feeling out of place, with no one but 3 girls to accompany me, and I didn't even like them. They kept forcing me to take photos with them. Most of the photos were of Helena clinging to me. I was seriously wondering what would happen if her husband saw it.
It's
But she had no worries
it's
about it. She was
you.
totally chill and enjoying herself.
You're
I
lying.
had to be polite to her and her friends out of civility. Otherwise, I would have taught them a lesson a long time ago. Anyway, after the dreaded beach trip was over and we returned to the hotel, I went to my room and plopped down on the bed to get the much-needed rest.
Sorry from
I was almost on the verge of
background.
dozing off
My
when I
mother
heard light footsteps
is,
entering my room.
has
I had a
work
hunch about who those
from
footsteps
home,
belonged to.
so
Only one person could be crazy enough to enter someone's room in the middle of the night while they were supposed to be sleeping. I didn't want to deal with her, so I kept my eyes shut, pretending to be asleep. She shamelessly sat beside me on my bed and started giggling to herself. I was tempted to open my eyes and shove her away, but that would have only caused me more trouble. I don't know what she did sitting
smack.
there for about half an hour, except that she was talking in whispers to someone on the phone about how she was using her husband's money to spend a vacation with her hot girlfriends and the guy she's crushing onto. I felt disgusted
No.
with her.
No, you're
What a
lying.
gold digger and a cheater. I sighed in relief when I heard the sound of receding footsteps, indicating she...
No,
I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night, thinking of ways to get rid of
she's
her,
not crushing on you.
to at least
There.
somehow expose her.
Hella ugly,
Her actions were getting out of hands now.
just like her.
Moreover, she was cheating on her husband, who was totally clueless. She was using his money for her purpose, which was wrong.
If she had a child, she would.
He didn't deserve this. I wanted to tell him everything, but I needed proof first. The next day...
Huh? Isn't that the, yeah, you know those Tink Winky? Isn't that their son, but then without the ugly baby face? No, what? Oh my gosh, no. No, why did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry, guys.
After the meeting was over, I went back to the hotel, because I didn't want to face Helena and her girlfriends.
No.
So many of our shop visitors just weren't converting. And Google Analytics drowned.
But just my luck. They entered my room without permission
But
once
just
again.
my luck.
Thankfully, I heard them coming and quickly hid inside the closet to hide from them. No way I was letting them get to me.
What if you
I heard
get
them
out?
shuffling inside the room.
What would it be?
To keep an eye on them, I peeked through the gap in the closet door. They were glancing around the room in confusion. I had to hold back a snigger at the look on their faces. "Where did Harry go?" Helena said, looking around. "He should have been here. Didn't he say he would..."
Really? Really? Oh my god, sorry guys. Gonna put...
"Didn't he say he would take a nap?" One of her friends said.
said.
"Maybe he went for a morning walk or something. He seems stressed these days," the other friend said. "Well, I don't care," Helena declared. "I am going to win the bet when he comes back. Just wait and watch." My eyebrows furrowed in confusion. What kind of bet had they placed on me? They really were going too far now. "Oh, please,"
you're
Helena's
lying.
friend rolled her eyes. "I will be the one getting one-on-one time with Harry. I will win this bet, and then you both will pay up." After that, they started
That's
arguing,
so
while my
fake.
mind started reeling. I couldn't believe these girls.
guy's
They really
lying.
placed a bet about having one-on-one time with me? What the heck? What was wrong with them? I had to control myself from getting out of the closet and yelling at them. It was a struggle, really, especially when they were talking about me like that. I got out after they left the room and breathed in relief. You must be thinking why I didn't lock my door or something to keep them from coming in. Helena had the duplicate key card for my hotel room, so it was useless. I needed to do something about this situation now, and also teach these girls a lesson. I went to the hotel reception and requested for my room to be changed. Out of nowhere, Helena appeared beside and asked me what my problem was. "Nothing. I needed more privacy," I said curtly. She nodded, seeming like a picture of innocence. "Oh, okay, if you say so. Don't worry. The girls and I won't barge into your room again." That was too good to be true. I knew very well that she wasn't leaving me alone like that. Something really fishy was going on here. I requested the staff for the change of room and asked them to not give any duplicate keycards to anyone. They obliged, and I went to my new room, which was on a different floor. I was happy that I
What for hair gel? Like, look at his little X on his little forehead. Grrr.
finally had some distance from Helena and her friends, but still there was this unsettling feeling in my gut. Something was wrong, and I could feel it. I glanced around the room to check for anything out of place, but I couldn't spot anything. A staff came in a bit later for room service. I was using my phone, so he thought I wasn't noticing him, but he was wrong. My paranoid mind always compelled me to keep an eye on things, and that helped me this time. I noticed the guy installing a camera-like thing above the painting that hung on the wall, and of course, I knew who had asked him to do it. He left the room and I didn't say a word. I still pretended to be busy on my phone because I knew that Helena was watching me through the camera. Now, I needed to work my brain and make a plan to end this once and for all. I thought hard, and suddenly an idea struck me. There was only one way of getting rid of Helena now. I pretended to dial a number and pressed the phone to my ear. "Hello? Jordan, how are you doing?" I asked over the phone, to no one obviously, but to anyone watching it would seem like I was talking to a real person. "Yes, I can come and see you after this trip is over," I continued. "Take care. Love you too. I have a very nice present for you. Can't wait to show it to you." After that, I tossed the phone aside and stretched my hands. Then I got up and went outside my room. I was met with none other than Helena in the hotel lobby. "Who is Jordan?" she asked me without wasting any time. "What?" I exclaimed. "How do you know?" "That doesn't matter," she replied. "Who is he?" "Well, that doesn't matter either," I replied sarcastically. She was seething with rage. "Why are you doing this, Harry?" That was my cue to dial my boss's number and leave the call active in my hands. Helena didn't notice it, because I did it very sneakily. "You know, I like you, right?" she continued, and I watched as her husband heard everything through the phone. "First it was Chloe, and now Jordan. I am doing so much for you. Heck, I am fooling my husband, and I even used his money for this trip, and here you are, acting all goofy and clueless." "Well, I'm sorry, but I don't go for married women," I told her and walked away. I think you can guess what happened after we got back from the trip. My boss now knew the truth about everything. He divorced Helena, who was stunned, obviously. She had no idea what was waiting for her after the trip. The best news was that Chloe was hired back. It was a rough journey and it took a lot of effort, but thankfully, everything worked out in the end. Now, I'm not going to waste any time and keep my feelings from Chloe any longer. It's high time that I confess to her. What do you think about my story, though? Did I do anything wrong along the way? Was I too mean to Helena? What would you have done if you were in my place?
Okay, now one little video, and now we're done. No. This one, oh no! Oh yeah! What? Nothing? What does that mean? Plunderen and overleven.
Are you running remote meetings? Make them interactive with Slido.
No, it's
Slido helps you to
plunderen
engage
and
with your
overleven.
online participants with
Like,
live polls,
robbing
quizzes,
and,
and audience
surviving.
Q&A, wherever they are. Asking questions on the call is difficult. Everyone starts speaking at the same time, or just keep silent.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm 21 years old. I'm going to narrate a crazy, awkward story that involves drama with my rich and popular crush and my not-so-popular ex. Before you judge me, let me make it clear that I was never the one to chase after popularity and all that crap. I'm a pretty average guy myself, not too popular, nor too invisible. You could say I fall somewhere in the middle. So, like, popularity wasn't the thing in my mind when I started dating Allie. She was my classmate, and we clicked pretty well, so we jumped into a relationship. However, Allie broke up with me a few months later because of some personal reasons. She was apparently of the thought that she wasn't good enough for me, because we were from very different backgrounds, even though I tried to convince her otherwise. She didn't understand, though, and broke up with me. It left me heartbroken for a long time, I'm not gonna lie. But I somehow got over it. In my third year, I started crushing on the so-called popular girl of the campus. Her name was Rachel, and she was really pretty. I'll admit I got a bit shallow here. After Allie, I didn't have it in me to think much of dating. That's why I didn't know what I was getting into when I started liking Rachel. The only thing that attracted me towards Rachel was her pretty looks. I didn't know her personality, so I couldn't vouch for her nature. She was popular, so naturally she was a bit proud. I texted her on Messenger, and then slowly we started getting to know each other.
On
A few days later,
Messenger?
we had a date in a nearby restaurant. I met with Rachel outside the restaurant. It was my first time talking to her in person, and I was nervous as heck. I went in for a handshake awkwardly, but she just eyed my hand as if they were ridden with germs and gave me a fake smile. I felt humiliated. Wasn't she indirectly rejecting me? I had no idea if I should have continued the date with her. I prefer high-end restaurants whenever I go out, she said. But since you insisted on this one, here I am. I hope the food here is good. I didn't know what to say. I didn't even understand her, to be honest. Maybe she wasn't doing it on purpose.
Of course
I told
you
myself
didn't.
it was just part of her lifestyle
It's-
and made peace with it. Yeah, I like the food here,
Wait.
I replied. I hope you will too. With that, we went in and took our places at the table that I'd reserved. Soon, the waitress came to take our orders. When I looked up and saw her face,
Why is the back of her hair like stashed up, but she has a hat on? Why? I am confusion.
I was in for quite a big shock. It was Allie. She seemed to be equally shocked to see me. We kept staring at each other for a few seconds before Rachel startled us in a loud voice. "Hello, excuse me. I just told you my order and you ignored me for a whole minute," Rachel said quite rudely to Allie. Allie got all flustered and quickly apologized. "I am sorry. Can you please repeat it for me?
I am
Why should I have to
sorry.
repeat myself? You should be doing your job properly. If you can't even do this much, then don't work at all. Geez, you've wasted enough of my time already." She then turned to me.
Why is she mad, but does she look like the happiest
"Jordan, can we go some
person?
other place?" I clenched my fists, plastered a smile on my face, and just shook my head. She apologized, right? Let's give her a chance. Rachel shrugged. "Okay, whatever." After taking our
Whatever.
orders, Allie walked away while I sat there thinking if I'd made a mistake by coming with Rachel. "That was quite unnecessary, Rachel," I told her. "You didn't have to blow it out of proportion." Rachel leaned forward and smirked. "Trust me, it was not. I know her. She's a loser who goes to the same college as us. It was quite fun to pick on her. And the most pathetic thing, she's dirt poor. Like, what is she even doing among us?" I was speechless. Was she for real? How could she put down anyone like that? I stayed quiet because I didn't want to say anything I'd regret later. I knew now that I had to stay away from her after the date. Allie soon came back with our orders. "Anything else you want?" she asked Rachel and
Why
me.
three
I shook my head while
different
Rachel asked for a strawberry smoothie.
drinks?
I frowned at her. I was
Why
pretty sure that
three
once during our
drinks?
texting conversations, she told me she hated the flavor.
Tell me now. Tell me now. Why you
Of strawberry.
you had what?
Was she up to now? As Allie made her way towards us with the smoothie, Rachel wedged a foot in her way, making her trip, while the glass of smoothie fell over all three of us. Rachel let out the loudest shriek and jumped up from her seat. "What the heck? How dare you ruin my dress? Do you know what it's worth?" She started yelling at Allie. "Calm down, Rachel. It wasn't her fault." I stood up from my seat. "Of course it was. Why are you taking her side? Can't you see how big of a loser she is?" Rachel fumed. Allie came forward with a slightly apologetic look. "Your foot came in my way. I'm sorry. I didn't see it and I tripped. I'm really sorry. I'll help you get cleaned up."
Sorry.
"That isn't going to fix anything, loser," Rachel retorted. "You should
Look at her. You.
pay me back for the damages you've caused, or
Damn it that you caused.
else I'll call your manager." "Are you serious right now?"
Don't give it those big animal eyes, you weirdo.
I asked incredulously. "Why are you overreacting?" "I'm not. I'm just going by what's right," Rachel replied defensively.
Zuga.
"I saw you wedging your foot in her way," I deadpanned. "Don't you dare deny it. You have no right to blame her for something that wasn't even her fault in the first place." Rachel's face started burning up, and she picked up her handbag and left without another word. Everyone in the restaurant was staring at Allie. Some had even recorded the whole incident, and I was sure that the video was making its rounds on social media by now. I glanced at Allie to see that she was crying. I quickly went to her and hugged her and tried consoling her. "They'll fire me now," she sobbed. "No matter what, they'll blame me for the whole incident." That got me thinking. That was unfair. Everything was Rachel's fault. Allie shouldn't have to suffer the consequences. I was suddenly stuck with an idea. I could teach Rachel a lesson and make her own up to her mistake. This way Allie wouldn't be fired. I assured Allie that I would fix everything. I went home and texted Rachel. "Hey Rachel, I'm sorry about today. I realize now it was not your fault. I'm sorry I told you off. Can we see each other again? I want to make it up to you. I'll take you to a high-end restaurant this time." She instantly replied. I knew she would. She agreed to go out with me again, and I had to snicker at the obvious. She was so predictable, it wasn't even funny. I carefully formulated my plan before going out with her the next day. I chose a so-called expensive restaurant and met her there. She was ecstatic when she saw me. Apparently, I was meeting her standards now. This is what she wanted. Rich lifestyle and stuff. We went to our reserved table. When she went to use the washroom, I called the waitress and asked her for a favor. The waitress agreed, to my relief, and that's when my plan started. When Rachel came back, I told her that we'd have to get our own drinks from the counter. "What?" she exclaimed. What kind of service is this?" I shrugged. "You should know about it. After all, you're regular to such places." She nodded sheepishly. "Yeah, right. They do that sometimes." As per the plan, the waitress met us midway with a tray of our drinks. "Oh, thank God, we got it here," Rachel sighed, taking the tray. I couldn't believe she actually fell for that. I didn't even have to try. It was time for the next stage of my plan. As we were walking back to our table, I wedged my foot out in her way discreetly, and she spilled the drinks all over me. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," she shrieked. I contorted my features into that of anger. "How dare you ruin my expensive shirt? Do you know what it's worth? It was a limited edition, and you ruined it now." She gasped in horror. "I'm so sorry, Jordan. I didn't mean to. Please, I can't pay you back. My dad would never give me the expenses." "Then how are you going to fix this?" I pointed to my shirt. "It's going to leave a stain. Either pay me back or do as I say." She glanced around. The waitress was recording the whole thing, as I had asked her to. Rachel's eyes widened in fear when she saw it. "Please don't post that video," she cried. "It would ruin my image. I'll do whatever you say. Just don't ask me to pay for the shirt." Geez, I thought she was rich and everything. Was that all a lie, too? Knowing her, it was possible. She would do anything to maintain her so-called reputation. I nodded at her. "Apologize to Allie and own up to your mistake publicly." "What?" "No," she immediately protested. I shrugged. "Do it or I'm exposing you." "Okay, fine," she said in defeat. I mentally rejoiced at the success of my plan. We went to the restaurant where Allie worked, and as Rachel had promised, she apologized and admitted in front of everyone that it was her fault the previous day. Allie was beside herself with happiness. Rachel's face was red with humiliation, and I felt slightly bad for her. But she started it, and I think she rightly deserved it. After Rachel left, Allie hugged me and thanked me for everything. I told her that I was just doing the right thing, and I felt guilty about earlier, because I was the one that brought Rachel and caused everything. She shook her head. "This is one of the reasons that I like you so much, Jordan. You always look out for everyone." She said she liked me, and it didn't take me time to get the hint. Well, long story short, Allie and I have sorted things out, and we're dating again.
Okay, that was the video, and have a nice day. Google. I said, oh my god, sorry guys, and Google.